What's up, Funker Tactical Squad? Welcome to the Aperture Fight Focused podcast hosted right here on the Funker Tactical channel. I actually tried to do a live feed of this earlier, but the audio wasn't working. I hope the audio is working now. If you guys can hear me out there, throw me some thumbs up. Let me know if you guys can hear me. I'm not going to make this same mistake twice. Now, today what I figured we would do, and again, I'm trusting that you can hear me this time. I went a whole 5 minutes before the community was like, yo, GN, we can't hear you. And I'm like, damn it, now I got to start over. You can hear me? Thumbs up if you could hear me. Guys, every morning I wake up. Thank you, Jonathan. Thank you, Jonathan. You're the man. You're the man. Thank you, Fabian. All right, so listen up. Every morning I wake up, I have a cup of coffee. And I have the great joy of reading Funker Tactical commentary. Today, I thought I would share that with the community because, gosh darn it, I love you guys. You guys like help me stay within my realm of passions, you know? Like, that's really cool. Thank you. Today, we're going to talk about this video featuring Jared Wihungi and Doug Markida. And I'm gonna illustrate the ridiculousness of the internet, okay? Because I try to put as much content or context into these videos as possible, but I swear to God, some people don't, like, they watch this video with no audio, they don't read the description, and then I think people are just happy to comment. So I'm gonna call those people out. But before that, I wanna thank members of the Funker Tactical community who actually digest this content and don't leave it at that. You know, they reflect on it, they engage with intelligent commentary, and by gosh, some of you even train this stuff, and you don't rely on the experts that are on this channel to just tell you what works. You actually pressure test that stuff. You are the kind of people that we want on the Funker Tactical community. Some of these comments though, I mean, we could do without them, but hey, we can have a bit of a laugh. Hey, Grandmaster, happy 421. I mean, that's not a thing. I did. Well, let's not get into that. All right, stuff like this, right? Weapons are made to be felt and not seen. There's an element of truth to that, but there's a part of that that's kind of like BS as well. So this is the video in question. First of all, it's called Emotional Candy. That should already tune you into the kind of video it is. Let's just watch a little bit of it, all right? But I want you guys to go on the channel and look for this video. Type in Doug Markida, Jared Wihungi, Emotional Candy. And
he removes mine, so I've got multiple counter traps going on here. And sink that knife in, you can switch hands, attack the kidneys.
I'm gonna feed Jared for every attack, and he's gonna disarm every bleed. He just reacts to it and strips.
okay, that's a little choppy.
Breaks open and strips. I feed on the highline, he strips. Bang! I strip the blade. Well, what's next? I look for that, look for wherever it's coming. When it comes in, I simply just boom. I snap here, strips.
Slow it down a little bit, break down each.
Okay, that's enough. That's enough. Okay, so what do you guys think of that video? Right? What do you guys think of that video? Are any of you actually thinking that these guys are simulating a fight? Is anyone actually thinking that? For the most part, I think people are smart, right? But sometimes I read the commentary and I'm like, gosh darn it. Let's read the description first and foremost, okay? It says, elaborate, artistic, feel-good techniques strung together in gorgeous sequences. They then break down each individual component into building blocks that you can incorporate into your Filipino martial arts repertoire. Now, I know most of you probably aren't Filipino martial artists. That's cool. Hopefully you train edged and impact weapons defenses as part of your defensive tactic strategy as far as your overall survivability cocktail, right? But I even write right here, guys, remember, these are not simulations of a fight. They are complex martial arts puzzles that are really designed to work your brain. All right, so let's read some of the commentary. Listen, it's been a while. It's been a while since I've revisited this video to read the commentary, but I just remember like, it's frustrating. Keep the comments coming, everybody. I have like not a split screen, so I can't address them right away. When I can, I'll pop them up. Okay, here we go. Shermie, training is vastly different from reality, for lack of a better word. That's why it's called training. Yes. So there are going to be artificialities in training. The thing that you're never going to replicate in any training environment, something really, really important. Okay. It's the fear of death. And if you are fearing for your life in a training environment, you probably shouldn't be training there. Let's see. I was thinking they were getting ready for the next John Wick movie. Like, that's actually a cool comment. But let's read some of the comments that just make me go, my God, are people really like this? Or are they just really commenting to have themselves heard? Anyway, you guys, I appreciate you guys so much. Right? Even some of the dumbass commentary that I get, I'm like, sometimes I feel like I'm not sure if they're being sarcastic or if they're being real. So let's go read some of these. Okay. Legend says they're still disarming each other up to this day. Like JCB, that's pretty funny. Two great martial artists. As a novice, I truly became humble in how these gents are operating. Respect. Very cool. Now I want to see a fight scene. Okay. There's lots of knives. Look, these two sound like they'd be very cool to train with. Okay, that's cool. Hey, I'm really disappointed. There isn't as many dumbass commentary. Maybe because I deleted some of it. I will keep that in mind for my next slow motion fight. Now, there is a commentary that is just pulsing with sarcasm. Pulsing. So it's got 59 thumbs up, so I don't know what you guys are thinking, right? Are you guys thinking that I'm presenting this stuff and that Doug and Jared actually believe this is a simulation of a fight? Oh gosh, that's ridiculous. They are so good. It's so awesomely unreal. Mind-blowing. Cool. Keep the comments coming, you guys. Oh man, I love the Funker Tactical community. I want to add about martial arts and fighting. The fastest reaction and luck will keep you from being dead. Okay, cool. Well-titled possibilities are endless. Two of my absolute favorites. I like Doug's wristband. Oh, this is one of the best martial arts videos on YouTube. Thanks, Andrew. I mean, it really isn't, but it's pretty dope. Pretty dope. Oh man, this is cool as hell. I'm really disappointing myself. When I first uploaded this video, I swear there were more dumbass commentary. Now it's all backfiring on me. My goodness. That will kill martial arts goodness. Great to see Doug back on this channel. He's not really back on this channel. That was an old video. Wow, this is I'm having my faith restored in humanity. Really, maybe it's just the way it's ordered now, or maybe I did at some point delete just some of the ridiculousness. But this is really good, you guys. Is the Funker Tactical community like reforming? Are we like actually crafting the community that we want to see here? Right? All right, so let's talk about this. The way you train is how you fight. No plan. You guys believe that? Let me know if you believe that, in that whole thing, train like you fight, fight like you train. And tell me what the caveats are there. Because I feel like sometimes people just say that. I don't know why, but you can't fight like you train and train like you fight all the time, right? You gotta look. I wanna preempt. I'm not an expert at all right? But you can't really do that all the time. You can't really fight like you train and train like you fight. Love the video, love to watch them, but I am a Kempo guy. I need to feel it. I need a body. Okay, Kempo guy. Any other Kempo practitioners out there? You know what I'm loving these days is that there are a lot of martial artists on the Funker Tactical channel. That's a good thing. I think traditionally in the past, were martial artists who kind of effed up the whole integration between firearms and like empty hand work, trying to do disarms while wearing gis and blah, 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 blah. Now I think it's becoming more logical. Logical. Well, this is really, really disappointing for me. There's not a whole lot of, like, this is all positive stuff mostly. What was I talking about? What was I talking about? Did I make a mistake? Should I be calling myself out now? Because I'm not really. Oh, here we go. The Blade Slinger. The Blade Slinger. Pat a cake. Pat a cake. Baker's man, bake me a cake as fast as you can. Right? Like, what's that comment about? Right? Come on. And the guy's name is the Blade Slinger. Like, automatically, I'm picturing a beard, camo pants, and the Dunning-Kruger effect. James, knowing your enemy has 5 steps ahead counterstrike, so you need to advance. I don't even know what that means. I don't even know what that means. I think there's a lot of people who say a lot of things when it comes to fighting that it's just really a regurgitation of cool things that they might have heard or read. And I mean, that's cool to a degree, but at some point you need to take accountability for the stuff that you're regurgitating. I certainly have. Yo, remember when I made some mistakes on this channel, you guys. Like, I just misrepresented stuff. I didn't understand it myself, but as I grew into understanding this stuff, I'm really taking accountability for the kind of content that I'm presenting. I'm putting myself out there a little bit more, you know, and that was really difficult for me, you guys, because again, I'm not an expert in this stuff, but I really can't deny the amount of knowledge that I've received over the years, you know, and I think I really have something to share from a rookie perspective, right? From a white belt mentality. And now I'm being less fearful about being judged because, who cares anyway? The community upvoted good comments. Filth settles at the bottom of still water. Ouija, my man. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You guys are friggin' hilarious, man. You guys are so funny. This is a really cute dance. Diego Enrique, right? A jiu-jitsu guy. Come on, man. What's up with you, jiu-jitsu guy? I love jiu-jitsu. I'm not a big fan of jiu-jitsu guys. Obviously, that's a generalization, right? But you know what I mean? Some jiu-jitsu guys can just be so engrossed in their jiu-jitsu practice because jiu-jitsu is a fantastic art to integrate into your self-defense matrix. But I think that even some jiu-jitsu guys get caught up in their own jiu-jitsu-ness. You guys feel me? You guys know what I'm saying? I think it happens to everybody. You know, I wish. Yeah. Anyway, that's what I wish. Not finishing sentences. That guy was born with a teardrop tattoo. Come on. Hey guys, do you know of any good Kali schools in Montreal? Yeah, look up Tuhan Philip Gelina of Gamma. That guy's a real, like, if sometimes Filipino martial arts can be very flowery and artistic and compliant and choreographed, but then there's a subsection of dudes who bang, who just go hard. If you guys type in full contact stick fighting on YouTube, you'll see some of my fights. And again, I'm new to it, but I expedited my learning because sorry guys, because I fought, like I actually fought full contact. Yeah, a lot of Filipino martial artists tend to just settle into the comfort of choreographed air drills, right? It's true. And, you know, FMA is not going to get anywhere just by that. We need to see people fight with it. Nice moves, not really a martial artist, but I think these moves are more practical and straightforward than some of the moves from other martial arts. Just yesterday, I saw some old man being beaten by a thug. Okay, so here's a person who actually means well, but I think is a little bit misguided, right? A lot of the moves that were shown in this video, I wouldn't necessarily say are practical, and that's not where the value of elaborate, sophisticated practice is. It's not in the recreation or simulation of realness. What it may do is work on your sensitivity, right? It may allow you to see opportunities and get familiarized with those things, because guys, knife defense, like fighting, Real fights are unpredictable, they're chaotic, and they're unrepeatable. So if you want to be the kind of a tactician who wants to learn all of the techniques for all of the eventualities, you're going to be wasting your time. So sometimes these sophisticated movements are an exercise in playing with principles, and maybe playing with principles in a way that's light, in the way that doesn't, isn't too hard, which is sometimes good, right? Like we can't all be rah 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 training super duper hard all the time. That's not the way soldiers and cops actually train. I had a conversation with a lot of people. Some people have the misconception that the special forces like train hard all the time and they're constantly smashing and banging each other. That's not the reality. The reality is that governments spend an extraordinary amount of money in upscaling the capabilities of an individual. And so pre-deployment, God, I sound like I know what I'm talking about. I totally don't know what I'm talking about. But what I was saying is that pre-deployment, there would have been so much money poured into an individual special forces soldier that if they trained 2-3 weeks prior to deployment and they got injured rolling hard in jiu-jitsu, for example, well, that investment is gone as far as that mission is concerned. All right. So special forces soldiers train intelligently. They don't train hard all the time, right? There's a phase in the calendar year or whatever. There's a phase where they can, right, when there may not be a mission that is scheduled. I understand that things can drop like that, or that's how it may seem to us. But the intelligence community knows what's up. So yeah, there's a time to train hard, but even special forces soldiers, they train intelligently, and sometimes that means gently, intelligently, right? I love these techniques, but best knife self-defense is avoid or run, because disarm techniques can take your life away. I mean, again, that's true, isn't it, guys? Like the best defense against a knife is to run away. But what if you're a father like I am, and the threat presents itself when I'm with my kids and I can't run? I'm gonna be like, see you later, kids. Daddy's out of here. Or what if you're in an environment where there is no escape route? You guys get what I'm saying? I love you guys. Again, I'm shocking myself because I swear there were more dumbass commentary. Maybe I need to just scroll down a little bit more to like earlier commentary. Saber, once you know what? Running is really the best knife defense. Awesome. Got to be the two most dangerous guys on earth. They're two of the nicest guys on earth. Let's be real. These guys are awesome dudes. I need to learn this she's. I almost died on my birthday. Oh, I didn't even comment on that. I'm going to like that. Or I'm going to give that guy a heart because maybe he's just reaching out. So this is an interesting comment by Guis. Okay, I want to talk to you guys about this. Do you think it's important for your knife defense teacher to have gotten stabbed in the past, or if your firearms instructor has never been in a gunfight? Do you think there's a problem with that? If so, leave it in the comment below. I'll share with you my thoughts about that. Experience matters, right? Experience counts, but those things cannot be passed along really to the student. If experience is the only metric for credibility and value when you seek your instructor, then why aren't you seeking firearms instruction from a gangbanger, right? Who's gone through multiple drive-bys and and has shot out a lot and survived a bunch of gunfights, right? Sometimes people like to wear gunfights and knife fights as a kind of trophy, but the reality often is that maybe they just got lucky. Maybe they were or maybe they got unlucky. They were at the wrong place at the wrong time, and they happened to have survived it. It doesn't make sense, right? Logic needs to prevail here. I'm not saying experience doesn't count, but again, we talked earlier about that. These deadly force encounters, these fights are chaotic and unrepeatable. So what lessons can you really bring from one experience to the next? One of my favorite quotes, I'll share this with you guys, is do not rely on the tactics that won yesterday's battle today. Okay? Man, my homie got shot a month ago. That sucks, man. Oh, look at this guy. Why don't you guys feature Sistema on this channel? What do you guys think of Sistema? I think Sistema is sometimes like Krav Maga or Aikido, in that there are some good principles contained within those systems, but they just suffer from a public relations nightmare because of the shitbirds who misrepresented them. You know, I really don't have any valid experiences with Sistema, but I'll tell you what I feel. I'll tell you what comes up in my mind, right? And let me know. Leave a comment. When you hear Sistema, what pops up in your head? Because when I hear Sistema, I see the same fat guy doing wiggly movements, avoiding that knife. You guys know what I'm talking about? You know this guy? But that's what comes to my mind. And I know that's unfair because there are probably valid Sistema practitioners out there who are laughing right along with that guy. Or maybe maybe I'm the fool. Maybe I'm not getting it. Maybe I understand it. But Sistema to me seems like they have a very, very bad public relations nightmare that they got to deal with. Okay, Terry Jackson would like to see full speed demonstration. Like the old days when Bruce Lee. I love Bruce Lee. I hate Bruce Lee fans. You guys feel me? I love Bruce Lee. I hate Bruce Lee fans. I hate Bruce Lee fanatics. And you know what? There are some great Bruce Lee fanatics out there, and they're usually the quiet ones. They're the ones who understand Bruce Lee at depth. Some people just understand Bruce Lee, you know, and they love to share the quotes, be like water, my friend, finger moon, all that stuff, and they don't really get it. Not to say this is ineffective, but would like to see it in full speed. No steps, just balls to the wall ASAP. So I have a problem with this. I have a problem with Terry Jackson, and he edited this. And maybe I can share this with you guys, right? Whenever you see a demonstration that's slow and methodical, understand that it's being presented in context as a tutorial, right? Nobody watches a UFC fight for tutorials. You can't learn a damn thing. You can get inspired, but the training needs to happen on the mats. So whenever I show a demonstration, a logical, good demonstration of sound, solid concepts and principles, and people are like, I'd like to see them try that for real. And I'm like, no, you try it for real. They already have. You can't learn anything, right? It's like, you can't learn how to drive by watching cars on the road. You know what I'm saying? You guys feel what I'm saying? That's not how you learn how to drive, okay? But you guys know this. I swear to God, I think the vast majority of Funker Tactical fans and the people who watch our videos are the silent professionals who would much rather not engage in the commentary. But the problem with that, guys, and I'm begging you, please, more intelligent commentary on Funker Tactical videos otherwise is going to get overrun by dudes living in their basements who play Call of Duty all day long, who watch Bruce Lee movies, who think they have an idea on what this stuff is all about. And again, I take this opportunity to admit and present myself as a non-expert, okay? I'm not the expert. But they're my homeboys, and we talk a lot, and they come to me. You know, there are people like old school dogs, like well-credible dudes who are like, they just like laugh at me, even though they're on the channel. They're like, yo, you got to clean up that commentary, homie. I'm like, I can't help it. It's still the internet. It's still the internet. It's still the internet. Law enforcement officers are so undertrained in terms of use with a baton and fighting. I would have to agree with that. And I'm pro cop, you know, like I'm down with the homies. But it's true, but it's not the cops' fault, you guys. It's the department's fault, right? Most times, law enforcement departments make policy changes in a reactionary basis. Some tragedy needs to happen before policy ever changes, and that's unfair to law enforcement officers. And you know, this is why I give big props to cops who train on their own, using their own money because they take the job seriously and they understand, that bad things don't need to happen first before we get prepared, right? Y'all know what I'm saying? God, I love you guys. Thank you guys so much. Hey, for those of you who have been subscribed to the channel for like a long time, first of all, I'm sorry for the mistakes that I've made in the past. I was just an editor back then, but damn, 10 years into this journey and really taking, look, I call myself like a hypothetical warrior. I'm a hypothetical warrior because for the most part, this is an academic pursuit for me. I learn, tactical-ish so that I can better present this material. But somewhere along the line, I got caught up, man. Like I really started to train a little bit, particularly in the empty hand stuff. And then the more I got to know the core of the community, I'm like, I am doing the Funker Tactical community a disservice by not being vocal about this stuff and by being a little pussy and just hiding behind this idea that, I'm just a camera guy. So I'm going to do better for you guys. You guys deserve better. But at the same time, all of you silent professionals out there who would rather not engage in the commentary, can you guys help me out a little bit? Because sometimes I feel like I'm the only one resisting. I'm like the insurgency against wave after wave of just like keyboard warriors. So I would love your help in that. Let's regulate the community together. Whenever you see, commentary that's just like inappropriate and illogical, smash them down. Let them know what this community is all about. Ain't nobody gonna poke his I think he's referring to Jared's ball. That's funny. I think that's hot, actually. I'm pretty confident in my masculinity to say another man's hot. Oh, this is good. I believe this type of martial art can be used only for the common average bad guy that has no clue of your skills. If these guys, legends or not, come in contact with a mediocre offensive martial arts practitioner like a kickboxer, they have no chance. You know what? I would agree with that, except that Jared is a Muay Thai practitioner. He's a SWAT officer, and he is a former national champion rugby player. So he would absolutely stand a chance, right? And so that, Tetra Kosari Honda Turbo, which, by the way, sounds like a 5 robots that come together to form one robot. That's an assumption, right? But I would say that's an assumption with a good enough core into it. Because let's be real, most Filipino martial arts practitioners, if they don't have good fundamental striking that comes from boxing, if they can't manage the clinch range and have no wrestling and grappling experience, a lot of the Filipino martial arts stuff that they learn can be thrown out the window if they can't protect and maintain their preferred range of fighting, right? So this is why I'm a Filipino martial artist. I love the Filipino martial arts. But I grapple, I box, I put myself in uncomfortable situations and wrestle with Division 1 guys just so that I know where my breaking point is. It's crazy to me. It's crazy to me that some people, look, and I'm not saying you got to train hard and spar every day, but even once a year is dope, even like quarterly or like twice a year, you go hard, right? You go hard with mindfulness, with a purpose. You can really learn a lot from that. But if all you do are katas and air drills, I mean, you might be in for a rude awakening. And I would hate for that to happen. Okay, here, Jake. Oh, here we go. I think your knife stuff is delusional. Bottom line is, a knife moves very fast and your moves are extremely complicated and won't work at real speed / power with a motivated attacker. So this is somebody, Jade Kayak, who clearly didn't understand the context of the presentation. They just wanted to say, and what they're actually saying makes sense, right? It actually makes sense that you can't go at walking speed. A friend of mine, longtime law enforcement dude, and the lead BJJ instructor at Extreme Couture, Chad Lyman, characterizes it like this. Your training needs to be crawl, walk, run. Or as he says it, you go into, you first learn to drive in a parking lot, right? These are isolated, slow training. And then you drive in the main in the main streets, right? This is where you up the intensity a little bit. And then you go into the freeway speeds, and this is where you get to test what you've learned driving in the parking lot and in the side streets. So no, I don't think the knife stuff is delusional. I think it's often misrepresented. And I think a lot of people do misrepresent knife stuff. It's true. That guy Trav, the world of knife defense, he makes some really, really valid points. By the way, I'm talking with Trav now. We're setting it up. I accepted his challenge for those of you guys who are wondering about that. He doesn't think that I can catch his 2-on-1 off a static position. I think I got a chance, even though I think that the test itself is a little bit illogical. I never back down from that kind of a challenge. I'm going to show you guys. I'm going to catch this dude. Okay. Google knife attacks. Compare the real thing with this and come to your own conclusions.
Sorry, I don't understand.
What? Google's always listening, guys. Oh, because... All right. Knife attacks. Compare the real thing with this and come to your own conclusions. Reaction is always slower than action. In practice, if they missed one of these blocks, and I contend that's very likely, then it's game over. Knife in the chest. Would you bank everything on your ability to block a quick succession of stabs, motions, perform? Now, so this guy is just running, like, again, he makes good points, but he missed the context of the video. Completely missed it. This guy, disarming isn't that simple when speed of the attack. And again, people always talk about speed, but this is not what this is about. The context is, like we said, this is an art, right? And art has a purpose to mitigate the degradation of skills and to work on attributes. Sometimes, look, guys, not everything needs to be like super ultra practical, right? When you do the hard practical, like the stuff that is actually ultimately valuable, right? Understand that if you always train hard, your risk of injury exponentially rises to such dangerous levels that if you, God forbid, find yourself in a deadly force encounter when you're injured because you're training irresponsibly hard, then you've pretty much effed yourself in the A, haven't you? Right? A lot of the good training in knife defense, which I do maybe 4 times a year, sometimes a little bit more. I mean, I've had concussions, I've had broken bones, and the recovery period for those things are real. And if my physical capabilities are compromised because I took my training a little bit too hard, then that kind of defeats the purpose. Doesn't it, guys? Yeah? Okay. Okay. Anonymous. Oh, how clever. Nobody attacks with a knife like that. Pretty, but unlikely to work in reality. Again, infusing a context that really doesn't belong in there. Arizonian Grizzly. Great moves, awesome work, but if a double-edged blade and razor sharp... Okay, I'm not going to bother with that guy. Again, look. Grubs up. Fine. Now do it in full speed with a permanent marker instead of a knife and watch your arms. Okay. How about you do it? Show us the elbow destruction. Okay, that's an inside joke. That one dude sounds like The Rock. Okay. How many real-world knife encounters have these two between them? Let's look at some of the replies on that. That would be interesting, right? Because I know the answer to that. I know how many real-world knife encounters Jared has had because, yeah, he's been a cop for like 20 years. And he was a bit of a hothead when he was younger. Oh, it's getting into another... Okay, let's not bother with that. Let me address you guys. Let me just click on something random. Sports were worth it, though. I think it was also Lyme disease. What the heck? I clicked on... Happy 421. What's 421? I have no idea what you guys are talking about. Hey! Shout out from... What is that? Is that Mexico? I can't see. Is that the Mexican flag? I'm pretty sure that's the Mexican flag. Orale! Hey Duke, thanks man. Yo, I appreciate you. Stop posting videos of cops murdering people. Why do we do that? Okay, here's a cool one. One of the best skills any instructor can teach is situational awareness and the ability to avoid a fight. Yeah. The thing about situational awareness, though, that I think a lot of people get wrong is I don't give a damn who you are. You cannot be situationally aware 100% of the times, and it wouldn't even be advisable. You know why? Because when you're like situationally aware in the way that I think you think, um, it's just not good for your soul, bro. Like when you are in the countryside, in a safe country, in a safe village, you're in front of this beautiful lake, right? There's nobody else here but you and your wife, and you're having a beautiful anniversary lunch, right? Should you really be switched on? You know, I think you can dim that just a little bit, right? I'm not saying be oblivious to your surroundings. That's not what I'm saying. But sometimes, sometimes people like to play executive protection agent when it's vastly inappropriate to do so. Like there's no reason. There's no reason to do it right now. All right, and be like, okay, man, I'm gonna sit here so I get a visual of these exits, and we're gonna go scout the location and make sure everything is safe. And they just kind of make a whole thing about it. If you're gonna do that, do it discreetly. No. Sometimes I think people just do it to show off. Anyway, Kung Fu sound effects. The BS alarms are going off already. Adam Corellius. Come on, bro. Look at this guy. What's he? Oh, I'm not going to make fun of him. It's his profile picture is him kissing his wife. Or maybe I will. Or maybe I have. Wow, guys, I'm really... Maybe my faith in humanity has been restored. These comments aren't that bad. And even this guy, love how no one in the comments knows what they're talking about. Keyboard commandos abound. I mean, that's a little bit ironic, but I think the intention is good. Do all this in real life and face 25 to life. That's actually a good comment. Yo, a lot of bladed arts, it really is fantasy roleplay murder. So you guys got to be very, very careful. There are a lot of like Filipino martial arts like cults out there who are like, okay, all you have to do is once he punches, cut his neck, go around the back, cut his balls, blah blah blah. And I'm like, that's murder. That's murder. A lot of Filipino martial arts teachings are like an exercise in fantasy roleplay murder. And so be careful out there, you guys. Like appreciate the art. You can appreciate the art. You can appreciate the sophistication, but keep a healthy mindset. Okay, keep a healthy mindset and understand that, God forbid you're ever in a court of law having to defend yourself, and there are videos out there of you, pretending to slash people 55 times, right? Careful. Okay, Snake Fist. All this moves looks cool for demo, but in real life, this doesn't work at all. Trust me, real life brawl is brutal. Like, whoa. This is what I'm talking about. Look at his profile picture. His name is Snake Fist. He missed the content, or he missed the context that this is supposed to be art and attribute building, right? Mental brain puzzles, because we could all use, a creative outlet. And Snake Fist over here is talking to me about how, trust me, he knows that a real life brawl is brutal and this stuff doesn't work in real life. What the heck, Snake Fist? Why would you Snake Fist? Clarence Auger, I would like to see you disarm someone who is coming at you full speed. No one will ever move slow motion like that, so you can set up your next move. Again, Clarence, read the friggin' description. Watch the video carefully. guys, I do not want to forfeit this idea that I can't post artistic self-expression on a tactical channel. Okay, I'm never going to do that. Never, because I believe that art and practicality don't need to be butting heads. I believe there's a way for them to be integrated, or maybe integrated. You guys know what I'm saying? It's like some of the most badass mother effers that I know who have been there and done that understand that there is a balance between hard, soft, dark, light, whatever kung fu mumbo jumbo you want to call it, but there is an absolute truth to that. Can you believe this? One time I was talking with an Afghanistan veteran, like a well checked out dude, multiple deployments, not just in that war, but in others, just an old guy, like a lifer of a soldier. And he was telling me that, you know, there was a moment in theater where he was clearing a room. He made some mistakes, and a guy jumped out and stabbed him right here, and the knife got lodged in his arm. And he resolved that, right? Popped the bad guy. But when I was talking to him about this, by the way, we were drunk, and that's why he was telling me this stuff. And you know what he cited as having saved his life? Like Pak Sao, which is like a Wing Chun move. And it blew my mind. And really that was the beginning of me understanding that these Rangers, these Delta dudes, these Marines from all over the world, once they get to a certain age and level of experience, they are less likely to discard thoughts, philosophies, and ideas. They're seeking balance, right? So they may even do yoga. They may even do Tai Chi. They may practice something like a Wing Chun because it helps with creating mental puzzles that exercise their brain, right? Search for ambidexterity. And so there really is no reason to like poke fun at traditional martial arts, but there is a reason to poke fun at traditional martial arts, because some traditional martial artists still misrepresent their stuff. They're still saying this is how a knife fight goes, or if an attacker comes at you full speed, you just grab their wrist out of midair and twist it, and then he'll go flying. There are still those people, and those people deserve to be called out. But for the most part, maybe it's because I belong to a dope network of people who don't misrepresent that stuff. It makes no sense to throw away things that could potentially help you. So, art and practicality aren't. They aren't contrasting. They are complementary. Okay, because like I said, you can't go hard all the time. You know, you can't get hard all the time. Ambidextrously dual wield revolver. Damn, that sounds cool actually. On horseback, while defending the death of my beloved. You guys are freaking awesome. Yeah, I'm really enjoying this, you guys. But it's 43 minutes. I'm going to have to stop this later on. But hey, I want to make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel, right? Please. Come on, subscribe to the channel. No, but seriously, I really work hard, and I travel the world, and I try to seek out relevant subject matter experts across the board. But here's the thing, people like what they like, right? When I first started showing knife content on this channel, all the gun guys were like, I'm out of here. I'm gone. I came here for the guns. I was just like, hold on, wait, don't leave so quick. This might help you. And then when I started presenting different martial arts like jiu-jitsu, the knife guys were like, oh, why would you roll around? Can you guys stop fighting with one another? This makes no sense. Oh, man. Look, this guy, Mr. Nobody, they would get stabbed in real life, but hey, it looks great. Why don't you just leave it at, hey, it looks great? Because it does look great. It's pretty dope, man. Fred Astaire and Ginger Rogers got nothing on these two. Rasputin's orphan. Come on. Anonymous Alcoholic says, this is all great in theory. What it fails to reveal is how real-life knife attacks look like. If someone attacks you with a knife, there's usually two outcomes. Blah, blah, blah. It fails to reveal how real knife attacks look like because that was never the intention to begin with. Right? It's crazy. What if? What if? Jim Fa. I feel like I'm going to rip Jim Fa a new Abe. Oh, there we go. Jim Fa. I'm always disappointed with these types of demos. Can they do it in real life speed without interruption so that we can have a check with reality? Here's a check for reality, Jim Fa. You can't learn from two people, from just watching two people go at it. You ever seen like some shiv work stuff or like some pressure testing in knife defense? You ain't learning a damn thing unless you're the one in it. You're just looking for entertainment. You're looking for some validation that is disconnected from your experience. You can't learn anything by watching two guys do when I did that thing with Tim Kennedy. Have you guys seen that video where Tim with shock knives on concrete floor? I tried to stab Tim Kennedy. I got him a few times. He ended up killing me by stabbing me in the neck. If you guys haven't seen that video, go check out that video. So there was nothing to be learned from that video until I started breaking it down and sharing my experiences. But just watching that video, you can draw so many false conclusions. First of all, that wasn't even a real pressure test, to be honest. You know what I'm saying? Tim was being very careful with me. And some people like, GN, you killed him. I'm like, maybe I did, but y'all know how fucking... I gotta stop swearing. Tim Kennedy's a monster. I maybe he kills me 9 times out of 10. You know, I'll just be straight up. And I'm only giving myself 1 because, like, you never know. Oh, wait a minute. I know that will be hard for us to observe the details as we go. Blah, 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 blah. The problem with these demos is that they're not really reflective of what's going to happen in real life fights. Well, yeah, but that wasn't the point of the demo, was it? There, Jim Fa. I find like a lot of I wonder if these kind of people any good in the octagon. El Capitan. I wonder if these kinds of people are any good in the octagon. I don't know. Like maybe Jared. That dude's a beast. He works out every day. He's a cop. He's a SWAT cop. Former rugby player. Trained in jiu-jitsu. Trains in Muay Thai. Good thing I carry way more knives than they do. See, I like that, Romak. A little bit of comedy there. Oh, gosh. At this point, why even bother with knives? Just take out your claymore and see how they disarm that. We get these people. And look, truthfully, guys, and for all of you watching this right now who are leaving these comments, by the way, I'm reading them. You guys are dope. You got to understand something. Knives are cool. Guns are cool. Tactical things are cool. Martial arts are cool. And so if you practice any of these disciplines, I believe you have a responsibility to the people who may be watching you to infuse a little bit of common sense into how they're viewing you, right? Because it does look very cool. Garrett Jacoby. Oh yeah, this shit works great at practice. If everyone knows what comes next and all the moves are with 50% speed, every time it's funny, watch those disarm guys. I tell you the best fight system. If your enemy has a knife and you have no gun, then run. That's all. Doug would do the same. Okay, not bad. Recovered there at the end. Santana Gaming Cinema. I am not a practitioner of this art, but it seems way too complicated to work properly in a real fight. I have wrestled, boxed, and done MMA for a long time, and we keep things as simple as possible for a reason. That's fantastic. That's a good comment. But again, he missed the context, right? This is supposed to be complicated, right? It's supposed to work your brain. It's supposed to work certain other things. And again, but good. He wrestled, he boxed, and he did MMA. Do all of those things. Hey, whenever people ask me, like, hey, which FMA system is the best for self-defense? I say, Honestly, if you want self-defense, I'm going to assume that you need self-defense capabilities immediately and you haven't got 10 to 20 years to dedicate yourself to the mastery of the Filipino martial arts. So I would say I do not recommend Filipino martial arts for self-defense if you don't have already some fundamental striking and grappling. If you can't navigate through the clinch, no amount of like artful stuff is going to help you. What I'm proposing is a balance. Y'all feel me? Thumbs up if you feel me, right? Like, and I'm a Filipino martial artist. I love Filipino martial arts. That stuff is great, but only about 2 to 3% of it, and that's being very liberal, is actually applicable in terms of direct transferability to a deadly force encounter. The rest of it helps. And it's fun, and it's great fun. Everybody should be doing Filipino martial arts, but have a healthy mindset with regards to what it is. And then somebody go, oh, well, then if only 2 to 3% of it works, then why don't you work something that works 100%? Good point, right? But if we all did what was good for us, we'd all be like vegetarians. I like Cheetos and ice cream once in a while. You know what I'm saying? I like my pizza, right? Some people like to infuse this like static logic into everything. Well, if only 2% of it works, then why blah, blah, blah. I'm like, you know, do you do everything that's good for you? Right? Do you put chips down on the roulette table knowing full well you're leaving it up to risk? You know, I love you guys. El Mission, fancy crap that is too much movement. By the way, most of the stripping they are doing here, because they are doing it fast enough and the other guy won't let go. Like you can tell by spelling mistakes and grammatical errors that some people are just typing real fast so that they can be heard because it is the internet. Jaquel Halyard, too many fine movements. This is why I appreciate Krav Maga's simplistic disarms. It's to the point. You know what Krav Maga doesn't do though is spar, which they should. Actually, I know like 2 or 3 Krav Maga academies where they incorporate sparring. And the thing about sparring is that it's artificial. It doesn't really replicate real life conditions, but it's probably the best tool you have to develop your sense of timing, distance management, and appreciation for real speed and navigating through real energy. So if you are in a Krav Maga, if you guys are studying Krav Maga right now and y'all don't spar, go sign up for Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Go take a boxing class. Deadly Dance, yes. Oh, Forrest Gump. I've been waiting for your comment. That's useless if I have a gun. Look, if you've been listening to Todd Fossey, if you've been listening to Jared Wihungi, if you've been listening to Chad Lyman, if you've been listening to the dudes that I am now presenting on this channel, we are anti, I'll just shoot the guy. Okay? There are too many unfit people carrying firearms thinking that it's a magic pill that's going to save their life. Well, if that is concealed, if your firearm is concealed, and I'm right in your face, you will not be able to draw that cleanly like you do at the range. Because your draw stroke is going to be disrupted very, very quick, and you're going to get punched in the face. And that gun is going to be used against you. So the I'll just shoot the guy crowd, y'all can leave the Funker Tactical community, all right? Until you change your mind and you understand that you need empty-hand combative skills to support your firearms training. Because if not, you may just be a walking holster for a bad guy. Okay? And by the way, it's totally cool to do these things for fun. It's totally cool. All right? It's totally cool to be a hobbyist shooter. You don't need to be a tactical shooter. You can just be a plinker. Ain't nothing wrong with that. If you want to be a martial artist who just enjoys the flow and the beauty of the arts, nothing wrong with that. Have at it. I'm not hating on you. What I am going to hate on is when you say that these things will translate into a real fight with direct transferability. Chuan Chi. I love that. I've never seen Doug use these in a real-time sparring. All these techniques seem way too complicated. Yeah, I've never seen Doug spar, to be honest. But maybe he doesn't want to. That's cool. Did you guys see my fight with Jared? Did you? We went on a full contact stick fight in the Philippines. If you guys haven't seen me and Jared fight, go check out that video. This guy's an incredible athlete. I thought I was getting good at this stuff. Yeah, if you guys haven't seen that, type in Jared Wihungi GN stick fight. You'll find it. Yo, Jared smashed me, man. Whenever I go into these full contact stick fights, like I always get damaged. I always get hit. But out of all, I got into like maybe 15 fights in that last trip to the Philippines, and the only scars that were permanent were the strikes that Jared smashed me with. Okay, here's a counterpoint. You should have trained and recognized your weapon should be out already and used. I mean, that's not really a counterpoint at all right? Because you can't assume that, right? There are going to, like I said, I think you know what I'm talking about. And plus, look, fights escalate and evolve at different rates. And sometimes that's even determined by the geography that you're in. There are certain cultural norms to escalation of violence, right? Right. In some countries, you just take out your gun and you keep it here. And you'd be like, what's up? What's up? Right. And in other countries, as soon as that gun's out, boom, you're popping a mother effer. Okay. So sometimes the gun as a deterrent, when you draw it prematurely, can work against you in a big way. Check out the last video that I posted on this channel with Todd Fossey talking about exactly that. Okay, the thing that happened in Brazil, this guy took out his gun and maybe he wasn't prepared to shoot, but the guy that he was trying to threaten with it got wrist control or got a hold of that gun, punched him in the face, disbalanced him, disarmed, and executed the guy with his own gun. Okay, so you don't know is what I'm saying. You don't know. You got to train for all of it. Got to train for all of it. But there are some people who are very proficient on drawing their guns. I get that. I train speed draws from concealment with my knife. You guys want to see that? But I can draw my knife very, very quickly. And then I visited the Minnesota Martial Arts Academy and I rolled with Division I, a former Division I wrestler, Coach Greg Nelson. You know what he did? I was able to draw. We got to the ground. He took my knife away and then he cut my throat with it. So yeah, you can draw your gun very, very quickly. You can draw your knife very, very quickly, but there is still a fight to be had. The fight's not over once the weapon is presented. And never mind the fight that happens afterwards, right? Here's the thing. Look, my friend got shot recently. Hopefully he can get approved for concealed carry soon. Oh man, that is a thing to unwrap, my friend. Because your friend is going to be emotionally unstable and fearful, right? And so if he needs to take care of his mental state first before he gets his concealed carry. And I know that might be a tough pill to swallow, my friend, but somebody who might be reeling from an experience like getting shot, he's going to view the world around him at an inflated sense of threat, and he may be a liability. So I would say deal with the trauma of being shot. Get aligned with maybe even spirituality. Come to terms with what happened, deal with it, and then start the process of training for concealed carry. Right, I released a video some years ago that got some hate from some people, and I had a guest on who proposed that just because you can legally carry doesn't mean you should, and that was hated by some people who are advocates of the Second Amendment, but they failed to realize it wasn't a Second Amendment issue at all. If you have the right to carry a firearm, you have the right to carry a firearm. Right? It doesn't mean you should. If you should. If you're not prepared to deal with what could potentially happen, right? That's all I'm saying. There you go. Second Amendment is my permit. Yeah, I love. I'm Canadian, right? So I am I'm emotionally like detached, or I'm politically detached. But man, I support the Second Amendment for Americans. I 100% support it. I do. I really, really do. It reminds me of kind of like there's a saying. There's a saying, but I forgot what that saying is. But basically, I think it's like an armed society is a civilized society, and there's truth in that. There's truth in that. These legends would get cut to pieces if they ever tried to use this shit in a real life situation. Thanks, Peter Parker. Again, somebody who missed the context. So, Peter Parker, get out of here. I would love to see this in a real life situation to believe this shit really works. Craig Lewis, you dumbass. And here's why I think that comment is dumb. This is why I think that comment is dangerous. I would have to see this in a real life situation to believe this shit really works. There are videos that you can watch out there of improbable techniques working in a real life situation. It doesn't mean that should be your standard operating procedure or protocol, right? There's probably videos out there of somebody doing a jumping spin kick to stop a robber. It doesn't mean we should be training jumping spin kicks, okay? We can train it for other reasons. This is a huge, huge problem. Huge problem. There are a lot of things that happen to, in a law enforcement context or a security context where the outcome is positive, but the way to get there may not be advisable. And I think people who just seek to observe something, to validate either pre-existing notions of what works and what doesn't work, that's dangerous. At the end of the day, you need to know for yourself. It's not about, I saw it work in a video, therefore I know it works. Well, it worked that one time for that one individual in that specific condition. It doesn't mean you should be training it, all right? And this is all about taking accountability for your own journey, you guys. And, if you're a veteran and, because of the outstanding service to your country, your knees got blown out or your back is wrecked, which often happens, right? These damn cowboy jumpers, man, I love them. But sometimes you're limited, right? There's a part of you physically that may be diminished. And so you can't do taekwondo, And I'm not saying taekwondo may not have valid self-defense elements within it, but you got to look at yourself and you go, okay, I got bad knees. I got a bad back. But I love jujitsu. So how can I modify my jujitsu so that it still works for me? But sometimes I know it's difficult to take accountability, and it's so much easier to watch a video and go, okay, I'm going to train that because it worked for that guy. Well, you're not that guy. You're not that guy. It doesn't make sense for you to do that. Feel me? Yo, give me some love, people. Okay, you guys are. Okay, cool. Thank you. It makes sense, right? This stuff makes sense. Sync Ninja, clear throat. I'm going to put you on just because I like your profile picture. Okay. Seaferg, when you go full animal brain, you're going to want better motor programs than the other guy. Well, I don't know what that means. I just heard motor and I thought it was going to be a comment that makes sense. Oh, look at this guy. I'm a Texan, not a U.S. citizen. You damn Texans. I swear to God, I love Texas. I've been to Houston. I hung out in Dallas. Dallas is cool, man. Dallas is dope. Dallas is like it's got enough cowboy in it, but it's still a very modern. Love Texas. I was there with Instructor Zero one time, and we were walking this trail in someone's ranch for some training, and then one of those copperhead. Anyway, I almost got bit by a snake. Zero more or less saved my life. Let's look at more dumbass comments. Hey, yo, by the way, hope you guys are subscribed, okay? I'm really trying my best out here. And again, I'm not the expert, and I'm just trying to work on being a better presenter of these experts. Okay, here. Why are pilots in simulators when they could be out training by crashing a plane into the Hudson like Sully? Okay. First of all, I got to call you out because you spelled plane wrong, but that is a brilliant friggin' comment. Good for you. Exactly. Exactly. Read that comment, everybody. Why are pilots in simulators when they could be out there training by crashing a plane into the Hudson like Sully? The method is proven to work in real life. There you go. That's a good point. That's a very good point. How many successful aircraft water landings have there been in comparison to ones that just disintegrate, though? I wonder about that. This is a great question, SoCal Patriot. Thoughts on a Wave folding knife for EDC? I have a Kershaw Emerson folder. The Emerson Wave is the single most reliable opening or deployment assist technology, right? It's incredibly reliable for what it is, but you have to understand that it's still a folding knife. It has points of failure, and I hope that you get the trainer, because if you're trying to deploy a folding knife when somebody's on top of you or when you're in the clinch, it's a very, very different game. So I love Emerson knives. I love the Emerson Wave. I love Kershaw blades. I love folding knives. But in my testing, in my personal ability to deploy a folder in close quarters, it's raw. It's 50-50, man. It's a 50-50 chance. But then again, the reality is I train with some really skilled individuals. So for the most part, the average dude, you'll be fine. You might be fine. But I would still suggest getting the trainer for that knife, and then practice your deployment. Create distance, practice your deployment. Find yourself in compromised positions, practice your deployment. And then the weapon's out. Just the fight still has to happen, no? Right? I'm gonna get back. I respect these guys, but this stuff simply doesn't work for those of you who want to defend against a knife. Absolutely right? I respect these guys too, but again, you missed the context. This is not what this is about. But thank you, Nabil. Love the negative comments from the nobodies who have no level of skill at all. See, look at Gary. That's the kind of commentary that would help me as the only guy who really sifts through these comments, right? This needs to be a community effort. Y'all are amazing, but please help me out. And you don't necessarily need to be, you don't need to be mean to them. Take the opportunity to educate the community. And I swear to God, in 2 to 3 years, maybe even less, we're going to find Funker Tactical as a serious positive force that's going to change lives. I know it already has, but I want the community to get more involved. Okay? So I'm imploring you guys to help me, watch these videos, right? And then look for these comments and take the opportunity to educate somebody, right? And that's what I'm trying to do here by way of comedy. I know I'm being kind of hypocritical because I'm making fun of them, right? And then I'm asking you guys not to make fun of them. That is hypocritical of me. All right, let me adjust. Let me adjust this. If you're gonna be mean, be clever. Okay, let's put it that way, or be funny. Okay, Aziz. Yeah, an actual knife fight isn't gonna play out nowhere near anything like this. For you to do half of that in reality, blah blah blah. The last thing you want. Whenever 9 times out of 10, whenever people say 9 times out of 10, they're bullshitting. Whenever anyone, I like that. 9 times out of 10, whenever someone cites 9 times out of 10, they're bullshitting. I like it. You guys like that? Wish they'd actually fight on one of these videos instead of just dancing. Well, Sundown TE, wish you'd actually understand the context of the presentation, my friend. Your blade, I can kill. Okay, you guys are commenting. I'm gonna address you guys. Yeah, I have over 1 million subscribers. It's true, but it's not because of me. It's because of all the dope people that I presented over the years, right? And I think I'm gonna present myself more in this channel because the true nature of this channel is cyclical. At one point, you saw a lot of Instructor Zero videos, which, by the way, me and Instructor Zero are working on a new project together, and you're gonna see Instructor Zero back on this channel a lot more. Okay, but it's cyclical. It's not always going to be Instructor Zero. It's not always going to be Doug Marcaida. It's not always going to be Jared Wihungi or Todd Fossey or Chad Lyman or Eli Nair or these people. It's cyclical. And the nature of that, here's what's difficult about that. I should have way more subscribers by now. This channel should be way bigger than it is right now. But the thing is, people subscribe to this channel for one particular reason, right? Maybe they like Doug Marcaida. And so when, Doug Marcaida videos stop, then it's like, okay, I'm out of here. But I'm like, the point of this channel is to represent the totality of fighting. And so that's why I really want to craft this and cultivate our culture as a community to understand that, okay, maybe not everything is for me. Maybe you live in a country that you can't even carry firearms. But what can you learn from watching, firearms videos, right? We want to be holistic here. At the sound of sounding a little hippie, we want to take the holistic approach to all things tactical. Oh, okay, what's this? Wing Chun and is the non plus ultra jeez. In English, please. Why did I even click on that? Thoughts on sound weapons as crowd control. Okay, I think I know what you're talking about. I don't know. I guess. I work with a company called Survival Edge who do a public order course. And yeah, they're always seeking here's a problem with sound weapons, right? I'm not talking about the sound that like penetrates you and makes you melt like in those sci-fi movies. But here's a defense for sound weapons. I'll show you. That's a defense for sound weapons. And on top of that, they're not going to be able to hear lawful orders. So I don't know, bro. CFERG 60% of the time, it works every time. Yep. If they are here and willing to learn, the community should be willing to offer their knowledge. I can learn from thinking through my response to questionable comments. Word. Oh, average guy, I'm going to pop this on for a second. I believe in that. I'm really hesitant to get political, y'all, because I'm a Canadian. And so while I keep a pulse on American politics, I think it would be more respectful of me to just stay out, let the people who got the skin in the game present their arguments. But I support the Second Amendment because I think it's cool. I think it's cool that a country has that. I think it's cool. Speaking of cool, Tarvo Kalaste. It's really cool, but if a guy came at you full power with full speed with a razor sharp... Okay, I think we get the point, right? Can I stop this now? I think we get the point. I think we've addressed every kind of illogical comment that might pop up in this, right? I think we understand that when you digest material like this, it's really, really important to first understand the context of the presentation so that you don't mix up your commentary, your good points, with illogical points simply because you missed the context. Yo, man, you guys have been awesome. I'm going to do this more often, you guys. I'm going to do this more often. I still don't get the obsession with realism in training. These trainings are just for defending oneself. If push comes to shove, you guys in the comments talk like you want blood so much. Oh, Juan de Lata. That is a great comment. Right? People obsessed with realism in training. Yeah, I think there's a right way to do it, though. There's a right way to do it. This whole video really only shows that you can choreograph a fight with any kind of result you want. In a real fight situation, if someone attacks you... Same kind of comment. miss the context. So now I'm going to honor you guys by popping up some of your comments here. Thank you guys very much. Someone slash my balls. I'm gonna shoot their head. Thank you, Grandmaster. Someone wanna slash my balls. I'm gonna shoot them in their head. What kind of slash? And what kind of shoot? What are you talking about? Why are you getting all sexual, bro? Ooh, Rolly. Musicians do not walk into a jam session on day one of learning music. That's great advice. But you know what? Day one of me getting into Filipino martial arts, I went into a full contact sparring match. I loved it though. Yo, I love that. I loved it. Let me just go remove this for a second. You guys know about the second channel, right? You guys know about Aperture Fight Focused? So the reason I started Aperture Fight Focused is that at one point I kind of realized that the gun guys were getting upset when I started presenting too much martial arts content, right? They were getting upset by that. So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to go start a martial arts channel. But my vision all along, you guys, was to integrate them, right? That's why you're seeing Aperture Fight Focused on Funker Tactical, right? Because exit page, sorry. Because empty hand combatives need not be separated from, firearms training. They should be integrated, shouldn't they? I know you guys agree. Wow, the internet is slow today. Oh, you know what it is? My kids are remote distance learning right now because in Toronto we are on full lockdown, you guys. Like full. It's the worst it's ever been. Hey, where you guys are restrictions getting lifted, or are they like getting worse? Because here at some point in Toronto, in Ontario, at one point it felt like we were getting somewhere, and then all of a sudden we got smashed again with like all of these restrictions, man. Here it is, you guys. Aperture Fight Focus. If you guys can take a moment to just subscribe to this channel. Fair warning, there's more art in this channel, right? We try to keeps it real on this channel. But we present art in the correct way. We don't present things that are improbable as probable, and we are honest with the presentation of this stuff. Lucas Drift. Art is practicality until you can do that easily. It sounds very Bruce Lee. I'm not quite sure if I know what you're talking about, but it sounds like you're agreeing with me. So, bing. Kate, I've been watching vocal coaches lately. I don't know what that means. Peep Hard to Hurt. He's doing some interesting stuff with some weird weapons like flashlights and hammers. Man, screw that guy. I'm just joking. I love Icy Mike, man. That guy's my homeboy. In fact, I was one of the first ones to see him. And I supported that guy because that guy is funny as hell. Go subscribe to Hard to Hurt. He's funny as hell. And he's logical. He's a righteous dude. He makes sense. I'm gonna put this on here. Hard to Hurt. This boy. This bro. Yeah. Subscribe to this guy. That guy's legit. And he fights. Okay, guys. Oh, this guy's gonna get hate, especially from this community. Look what this guy's saying. Why do you hate guns, man? Why do you hate guns? I mean, look, sometimes it's easy to be manipulated by the media, right? But guns are inanimate objects, they're tools. Let's not even address that. Leland Holton, I love knives. I have cool artsy knives. I have working blades. I have survival knives. It's nice having a change. I think I love this comment because the way you view knives is sort of the way I view the totality of martial arts and self-defense, right? Some knives you have because they look pretty. I got a bunch right here. You guys want to see my knives? I got a ton of knives. I have a ton of knives. I got Russian knives. I have reverse karambits. This is a beautiful knife. This is by my homeboy Bassinelli. This is called the Mako. You know, and I mean, is it the most practical knife? Well, I mean, I'm not going to chop wood with it. This is not the thing that I'm going to take with me camping. Is it practical if I need to stab a dude? Yeah, it's pretty practical. Context matters. Context matters. Who else am I going to give love to? Oh, yo, you guys familiar with SOG? SOG knives? Yeah, I'm doing this wrong. They have this new locking mechanism that I love it for its practical utility, but it's not like cool. But SOG is making some really, really serious changes to that company. They're going more practical. I think they're having less like zombie type blades. Like that. That's a good one. I like this knife. SOG. SOG stands for Studies and Observations Group. This one's a SOG TAC XR. I love it. I love what SOG is doing. It's kind of a soft rebrand. I love it. I know about advanced propulsion flying saucer programs. We actually released, yeah. I hate to get all aliens on you. Read this dude's comment. It's funny. The United States government pretty much declassified information and said, yeah, aliens are real. They've visited us. But it was largely ignored. I don't know. I thought aliens are cool. Largely ignored. I love guns, something for everyone. Pistols, rifles, shotguns, and revolvers. Yes. Guys, can you guess how many guns I own? Guess how many guns I own. Guess how many guns I own. You might be shocked. I really don't like knives either, but I feel like I need a force multiplier if attacked by multiple opponents. Okay. The thing about multiple opponents is that you're only ever going to fight one person at a time. So the whole multiple opponents thing isn't really a thing, because even if you had 4 guys, you're not going to do like, you're not going to do any of that stuff, right? You're going to fight one person at a time. You're going to use the environment to put yourself in a tactically advantageous position. You might line them up so that they're stumbling over each other and you're only fighting one person at a time. So yes, multiple attackers, it's an important consideration. But, you know, we're not doing Jackie Chan stuff and doing like, you know, split kicks where we're kicking 2 guys at the same time. You're dealing with one person at a time. So in that regard, multiple attackers, vastly misunderstood. Vastly. Bruce, the Wolverine Wayne. Okay, I'm going to read your comment anyway, even though... Anyway, I'm going to read it. So you have tried pressure testing the sewing machine stab on Tim Kennedy and the one police officer, but neither of them used anything close to these martial arts, more like F2F. What? Yeah. No. You know, we're not gonna do all this like fancy stuff when it comes to that. You want to get 2-on-1 control. That's what Tim Kennedy. That's what this cop did. Sal Mascoli. Yeah, You want 2-on-1 control, man. You want two hands on that one knife. Yes, the other hand's free. Yes, he's going to be trying to punch you. But prioritizing, neutralizing the threat of that knife is of primary importance, right? All this fancy stuff, right? Those are what I would deem sophisticated iterations or practice of sound principles, right? Like even all the wrist stuff. I mean, you're just talking about leverage, right? So, and again, I already talked earlier about how you can't train hard all the time. So you need to supplement that training with things that are not as dangerous for you, because if you get injured in training, you're not going to be able to defend yourself out there. What is this guy saying? Do I need to send pictures of the knife scar on my thumb? Yeah, reality is brutal, but it would have gone in my stomach if I didn't practice the art. Oh, yeah, I feel you, man. I feel you. You guys know about these shock knives? So, Ouija, you just reminded me. One of the training scars that are developed when you train with shock knives is that, and I've seen this all the time. I train with shock knives. Is that when you're training and it goes, it's scary, right? You get a healthy respect for the game that you're playing here, right? You're treating that blade with respect. But what ends up happening is somebody will grab that knife and they go, and they would let go. That's a training scar, right? Because sometimes you may need to just grab that blade and sacrifice the fact that your hand is getting cut to buy yourself the moment in time to deliver strikes or whatever. So for those of you guys who have shock knives, be mindful of the training scars that you may be developing. I still think that the shock knife is great fun. Great fun. It's a great thing to have, right? But I treat it more like a novelty. Also because once you get used to used to the sound, it loses its effect, and it's just another sound. The shock it sucks, but you kind of get used to that too. Man, Grandmaster UV, like what the heck is up with you, man? I had to defend the house with an AR-15 from 3 people in the house when I was 12. Where do you live? Jeez, you've been stabbed, you've been shot, your friend just got shot. I think you need to start making better life choices. I'm just joking. I'm making light of potentially like a serious thing. Laughter is my defense mechanism. Rolly, you're awesome. 9mm versus a knife. I don't know. What do you think?
Don't bring a knife to a gunfight.
Several video shows knife can beat gun, and video Aldo of rock beating. Jeez. Come on, man. Settle down. Proofread. I gotta go soon, guys. I think I have some editing to do. But I really enjoyed this. I really enjoy hanging out with you guys. We should do this more often. This has been really fun. It's not gonna get a whole lot of views after the fact, but who cares about these views? I got to hang out with you guys for like an hour and a half so far. Getting to know the community. Where are you guys watching from? Can you guys let me know? Comment, leave it in the comments. Where are you watching from? I want to know how far this community has spread. But whenever I look at the analytics, it's like United States, beep, and then it's like the UK, beep, and then Canada, beep, and then Brazil, beep, and then Germany. Beep. We have a lot of people who watch this channel. Okay, other than the United States is dominating the analytics here. Like something like 80%, 70% come from the United States. But the United Kingdom is there. Shout out to the UK. I love you guys. Shout out to our Canadian viewers. Love you guys. There's a huge contingent of Filipinos who watch the Funker Tactical. Love you guys. Thank you. A lot of people from Brazil. A lot of people from Germany. A lot of people from France. I'm missing another country. Australia. Okay. I love you guys. Not too many viewers from Australia. But really, it's the United States, Canada, UK, Brazil, Philippines, right? Those are usually the top 5. and then it's like Germany and France. Yeah, a little bit more coming in from Sweden. So it's cool. This is a dope community. It's an international community. One of the things I want to mention about that is that there are differences in our cultures. There are differences even in the composition of the structures that we live in. That's going to necessitate modifications to training methodologies, right? Like if I've got an AR-15 and I've got plaster drywall, that's going to be a whole different thing than if I lived in Italy, for example, where the walls may be made of stone, right? So again, take accountability for your training, understand where you are, who you are, and what you're trying to do. And listen, I'm not an expert, but I want to thank the people who have given me this knowledge and the ability to share it with the community. I try not to make it about regurgitation, right? It's not like, oh, I heard something and then I'm passing it on. I go deep as I can, because I don't want to just be a regurgitator. I just want to pay homage to all of my my mentors, my guides, people who give me this information, which allows me to share it with you guys. So shout them out as well. Rob Hill. All right, guys. Balls deep. Hide current comments. All right, average guy. Yo, I appreciate you guys. Oh, I gotta go. Thank you guys so much for watching Funker Tactical. Make sure you guys are subscribed. I'm gonna do more of these. This was just really for me to hang out with you guys. But in the future, we're gonna have some themes. We're gonna have guests. We are going to add more value to these live feeds, and hopefully I can serve you guys. Toronto in the house. Hoy Filipino. Cesar Roman coming in from Pennsylvania. Yes. One love, everybody. Yo, I appreciate you guys. Thank you very much for being part of the Funker Tactical community. If you'd like, I'll see you guys tomorrow, okay? You guys have a great day.